.22. It is absolutely a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh, a great day for baseball. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, that's coming up next, right here on Yes.
On the mound for the Pirates today. When I spoke to him on Friday, he went back to the day that he was traded to Pittsburgh and recalled how emotional it was for him. He said, "You don't understand. These guys just weren't my teammates. I considered them to be family. Family I still keep in touch with." Now, Nova said the biggest difference for him from when he came over from the Yankees is the fact that he feels a lot more relaxed on the mound. He says he knows he's going to get the ball every 5 days, and that's something that has really allowed him to pitch with ease. As far as if he circled this date on the calendar or not, he just smiled at me and said, "I am so looking forward to this start. I still keep in touch with these guys. I want to play them. I want to prove that I can get the job done on the mound." So, guys, time will tell exactly how Ivan Nova does. And, Kenny, you could probably talk to this. Who has the advantage, the pitcher or the hitters?
Well, that's a good question, Meredith. I would think the pitcher always has the advantage. He knows what he's going to throw. Of course, this is one of those ball games where guys, he's got to be pumped up about this start.
Oh, you would think so. Got traded on August 1st, and he left a place where he'd made 131 games as a Yankee, and he came up through the Yankee system. So this start will mean a lot. Brett Gardner is ready. Ivan Nova is ready. And let's do it here in Pittsburgh. Pitch is upstairs, and we are underway. Chad Whitson is the home plate umpire. Dan Iasonia at first, Sam Holbrook at second, Jim Wolf is at third.
Those are the numbers on Nova this year. And he's off to a decent start as far as ERA is concerned. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. His last start, a 78-pitch complete game. Well, he lost it 2-1 to the Cardinals.
Fly ball, left field, Polanco toward the line, and he runs out of room. Nice catch by the fan.
Next note, a walk is a 4-letter word. Nova has not walked a batter in his first 3 starts, and he's only walked 3 since coming over to the Pittsburgh Pirates from the Yankees last year, and he's given up just 1 home run in his last start. Colton Wong of the St. Louis Cardinals took him deep.
Gardner 1 for his last 16. He has been struggling. He had yesterday off. Aaron Hicks started in left. And Nova deals. Fouled away. Final game of this 3-game set, and tomorrow's an off day for the Yankees. And then they will begin a 3-game series at Fenway Park against the Red Sox Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. All those games on Yes. The 1-2. Stewart could not hold on. They're saying that it wasn't a foul tip, so he goes down swinging, does Brett Gardner.
Well, the home plate umpire Chad Whitson said that he was transferring the ball out of the glove, and that's when he dropped it, and that's why he's going to be out, and it looks that's the case. Gardner foul tips it into Cervelli's glove, and as he was trying to throw the ball around the diamond, Chris Stewart, the transfer wasn't complete.
Headley fouls it back, count 0-1. Headley has a 6-game hitting streak. All of April last year, Headley had 9 hits. He has 21 hits so far on April 23rd. Fouled away.
Headley is 2 for 10 in this series, 1 for 5 in each game.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. And Headley down on strikes. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. We've seen Gardner and Headley. Starlin Castro bats third. Jacoby Ellsbury in center field cleans up. Then it's Aaron Judge, Greg Bird, Ronald Torreyes, Kyle Higashioka, the catcher, will bat 8th, still looking for his first big league hit. And Jordan Montgomery, the pitcher, will bat 9th. So here's Castro. Big home run in yesterday's game. He has 12 career home runs against the Pirates. Most he has against any team in his career. Also a .311 hitter in 96 games against the Pirates.
And he too has been swinging a hot bat. 6-game hitting streak. Big home run yesterday. We showed it to you in our open. And Michael, you may alluded to this yesterday, that it seems as though Castro at this point in the season, we know he's an aggressive hitter. He's not chasing quite as many pitches out of the strike zone as he has in the past. And you know, a lot of times he gets himself out on those type of pitches.
1-2.
The Yankees with their 3 home runs yesterday, just 1 off the American League lead. The Texas Rangers have 1 more home run than the Yankees, 26-25.
Swing and a miss. Impressive first inning for Ivan Nova. He strikes out his former teammates 1, 2, 3. Yankees nothing, and the Pirates coming to bat. Indeed, as we take a look at the Pirates starting lineup, Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, will lead off. Batting second, the third baseman, Josh Harrison. Andrew McCutchen in center field will hit third. The left fielder, Gregory Polanco, cleans up. David Freese at first base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Jose Osuna. Phil Gosselin gets his first start of the series at second base. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, former Yankee Chris Stewart. And Ivan Nova will pitch, and he'll bat ninth.
On the mound for the Yankees, the talented young left-hander. 24 years old, Jordan Montgomery gets to start in the final game of this series. And he's put together a pretty good start. His only 2 starts in the major leagues are at Yankee Stadium. This is his first road endeavor. As you look at the numbers, let's check out our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Made 61 appearances in the minor leagues. A lot of them starts, of course. Never gave up more than 4 runs in any game. He's got a solid mix of pitches, fastball, curves, slider, changed 2 fastballs, a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer. And in his debut, that was back on April 12th in Yankee Stadium against the Tampa Bay Rays, he had 7 strikeouts. That is the most strikeouts for a left-handed pitcher in Yankee history in his debut.
Well, he is ready for the bottom of the first inning. Here's Jordy Mercer. These 2 teams split the first 2 games, so of course the rubber game here on this Sunday afternoon. Montgomery deals low. Montgomery will use all of his pitches, and he will use them in any count. And when he throws a pitch, it comes from the same exact release point. And hitters really do depend on a variation of where the ball's being released to know what the pitch is. They study loads and loads of tape, but with Montgomery, you can't tell from the release point what the pitch is going to be. 2-0, 3-0. And he walks Mercer to start the first. Let's take a look at the Yankees defense, which is presented by Geico. You've got Gardner in left, Ellsbury in center, and Judge over and right. In the infield, it's Headley, Torreyes, Castro, and Bird, third to first. Higashioka is behind the plate, and on the mound is Jordan Montgomery. So here's Josh Harrison, hitting .273 and also has been hit 6 times this year already in 17 games.
I think the thing about being hit 6 times, that, you know, that's an amazing number. But to be hit 4 times in a row, that hasn't happened in quite a while, I would think.
Ooh, almost got hit there. Doesn't look like he gives an inch.
Kind of reminds you of, who's it, Brandon Guyer of the Cleveland Indians, who gets hit quite often, doesn't give much at the plate, just turns and takes his medicine.
Two and one. Pirates sporting their We Are Family uniforms here on this Sunday.
Yeah, you would mention that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's, I think they wear them at home on Sundays, throwback.
And there's a base hit to left field for Harrison as Mercer moves to second.
We saw Josh Harrison in the opening game of the series start at second base. Today he's playing third. He plays all over the field for these Pirates. Got something he liked. Montgomery in the early going here is having trouble throwing strikes, and when that happens, hitters can sit back and wait for a pitch that they want. And now he's going to have to face McCutchen, who's 2 for 6 in this series.
Hitting .262 overall, 3 homers, 9 ribbies. And Montgomery deals high. Montgomery working on 5 days rest. Last start, he picked up his first big league victory. Two and 0. So Montgomery struggling early.
Yeah, we haven't seen him like this. He was usually within the strike zone or just out. These Pirates have he's fallen behind every hitter so far.
The 2-0. That one is looped into right field. It is a base hit. Mercer rounds third. He's going to be held up as Judge comes up throwing, and Bird cuts it off. So a walk and 2 singles, and the Pirates have the bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, I thought Mercer would score on that. He probably held up because he thought that Castro had a chance at making this play, but the ball drops in between Castro and Judge. Yeah, let's see. He's off and running, and Joey Cora holds him up. Remember, Judge has a strong arm. And not taking any chances with nobody out. The Pirates now have the bases loaded and nobody out.
So here is Gregory Polanco, hitless in his last 14 at bats, hitting .216. He's the Pirates' cleanup hitter.
He's a much better hitter than what he has shown so far. The Yankees hope that his problems continue for at least one more day.
Yankees looking for a double play. And there's a strike on the outside corner. They're in at the corners, both Headley and Bird. Up the middle, you've got Torreyes shading up the middle. And Castro shading a bit up the middle, but not as much as Torreyes. Now they back up at first with Bird and a pitch outside. 1-1. .275 hitter with the bases loaded, 1 grand slam in his young career.
Montgomery's strength with against the lefties has been his breaking ball. He's been able to control it enough to get them either to swing at one within the zone and miss it, or breaking just out of the zone.
Big cut by Polanco, fouled it away, 1-2. So early trouble for the youngster, trying to wiggle out of it here in the bottom of the first inning. Yankees one down, 1-2-3, all strikeouts against Nova in the top of the first. Swing and a miss, a big strikeout for Montgomery as Polanco goes down on strikes, 1 away.
Yeah, that's that breaking ball to a lefty that just eludes the zone, and you'll see it just break out of the zone and he'll follow it. And he's headed back to the dugout. So now a ground ball could get him out of the inning if it's hit at one of the infielders, as Polanco is struck out. What did you say, he was 0 for 14?
0 for 14.
Now it's 15.
And here's David Freese playing first base today. Has a 4-game hitting streak, 4 for 12. Montgomery deals. Fastball is high.
Now the problem for Montgomery here is that Freese has been the hottest hitter for the Pirates in the early going of the season. He's got 3 homers, 8 runs batted in, hitting .333, and he's been hitting right from the start of the year.
Now he's got more of a jam with a 2-0 count with Freese and the bases loaded. And the 2-0. Foul back.
In the outfield, they're playing Freese to hit the ball the other way. Now he does hit the ball all over. You can see Ellsbury a few steps towards right field. So there's a pretty big gap between he and Gardner off the line, well off the line and left.
Best arm in the outfield belongs to Judge. Second would be Gardner, third Ellsbury. Montgomery steps off, and Higashioka will go out and talk with him. So a rough beginning for Montgomery, but trying to keep it at 0. A walk and 2 singles, loaded the bases with nobody out. Then a strikeout of Polanco, and the Rangers gave it Freeze at the plate. Fouled away, 2-2.
He's fought back in the count after falling behind 2-0. Let's see if he can finish Freeze off here.
And the 2-2. Fly ball center field and deep. Going back, Ellsbury still back. He's on the track. He'll make the play. Tagging is Mercer. He will score. Moving to third is Harrison. It's a long sac fly for Freeze, and the Pirates lead 1-0.
Freeze got a good piece of that, but it was hit to the deep part of the ballpark in center field. So you hit one out in straightaway center, you have to get all of it. And he hit it well enough to get the run in. But if Montgomery can get out of this, a bases loaded and nobody out jammed with just 1 run, I'd say he's accomplished something.
So one rookie against another. Montgomery against Osuna. And a strike on the inside corner. So 21 pitches for Montgomery, 10 strikes. Inside, 1-1. Osuna asked to pick up some of the slack with the suspension of Starling Marte for PED use. Osuna got his first big league hit against CC Sabathia on Friday night. He tripled.
The thing about that, the suspension of Marte, this is an all-star player. This is somebody the Pirates are really counting on. He was the defensive stalwart, Gold Glove winner. Twice he's won Gold Gloves, and they moved him into center field.
Popped up. Castro is there, and he makes the play, and Montgomery escapes relatively unscathed. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We played 1. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh. conversation brought to you by Toyota. Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Question: what is the longest home run you have ever seen live in person at an MLB game? D. Hursty said, the longest home run I've ever seen in person was Aaron Judge's first homer in his debut last year. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius Prime to keep the conversation going. And he will bat second in this inning, and here's that memorable home run.
Wow. Restaurant quality. And the thing about it, he followed the home run by Tyler Austin.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury, 5-game hitting streak, 6 for his last 14. And kind of has settled in to the cleanup spot. Hitting .323, a home run, and 3 runs batted in.
4 hits in this series for Ellsbury.
One and one.
Thinking about the longest home runs, I saw Dave Winfield hit a long one at Yankee Stadium. I saw Willie Stargell hit one here at Old Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Yeah, just a few blocks from here. That's where the stadium was.
I don't know if I worked the game with you, Kenny, but one of the longest I ever saw was Bonds at Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Up in the upper deck in right field, more than halfway up.
Yeah.
I think that was off of Ted Lilly. 1-2. Fly ball left field coming on Polanco. He's there to make the play. That'll bring up Aaron Judge, which leads us to today's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. This season, he has 6 home runs. So the longest was the most recent at 457. He'd been building up to that, but not many cheapies there.
No. It reminds you what Yogi used to say. Mickey Mantle hit those long home runs, and Yogi would say, it doesn't matter if it gets right over the wall or goes in the upper deck, it's going to count the same.
I'll tell you what, his teammates are in awe. If you watch the dugout when he hits them, they can't believe it. These are big leaguers. And Joe Girardi said, I really don't know where they land anymore. He said, because they travel so far, I lose sight of them. Well, Judge quickly down in the count 0-2. And the pitch from Nova. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Judge. Why don't we take a look at Pittsburgh's defense presented by Geico. You've got Polanco on left, McCutchen in center, Osuna over and right. In the infield, it's Harrison, Mercer, Goslin, and Freese. That's third to first. Stewart behind the plate, and Nova on the mound. Nova waits for his team to shift with Greg Bird at the plate. 3 infielders on the right side. Swing and a miss.
Bird looking for his first hit in this series, and he's 0 for 8, but he's hit several balls fairly hard. Pulled 2 long balls foul that would have been home runs if just a few feet to the left. And the ball he hit the other day to Josh Harrison could have been called a hit, but it was ruled an error.
2-1. Well, he's 1 for his last 16, so yeah. He wants to start seeing some results. So do the Yankees. 2-1. Right back to Nova for the final out. Talk about hitting in hard luck. That was a single up the middle, but Nova's glove had other ideas. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Is brought to you in part by Hyundai. There's no better time to buy a new Hyundai than now. See your local Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Honda. Come test drive the Honda of your dreams at the Honda Dream Garage sales event today. Now, this is the best day of the three weather-wise, but strangely, it looks like it's the smallest crowd. On Friday night, 30,000 people. Yesterday, 36,000, but I guess some people went to the beach today. It's gorgeous out.
Oh, there. We got some boating activity out on the Allegheny, just beyond the right field wall.
And there's a strike.
This is our first look at Phil Goslin, who's getting the start at second base today.
Goslin, sky-high pop-up. And Castro makes the catch.
See if Montgomery can settle in after kind of a shaky first inning where, I think he came out of it okay with just allowing the one run, the leadoff walk, eventually scoring on the sac fly. Interestingly enough, both Pirate catchers are former Yankees. This is Chris Stewart.
And a strike. 1-1.
And back in 2013, Stewart, there's Francisco Cervelli, who was the #1 catcher, getting an afternoon off. Stewart played 109 games for the Yankees in 2013. And that particular year, he set career highs in runs, hits, homers, and RBIs.
One, two. Well, I tell you, Cervelli is always amped up. He was there when the Yankee bus got to the ballpark and like bear hugged everybody. Two.
I think he's one of those guys when he has a day off, he can't sit in one spot long in a dugout. He's going to move around quite a bit.
The 2-2. 3-2.
It was the changeup that missed low.
Nova waits on deck. Driven into left center field. Long run for Ellsbury going back on the track, and he can't make the play. Stewart will round second. He'll go to third, and he is going to have a sliding triple. He could have stood up, but wanted to slow himself down. So a triple for Chris Stewart.
Well, Stewart fills a column. That's his first triple of the year. And Ellsbury gave it a good try. I thought at the last second there he would haul this in. Remember, he's has the glove on his right hand, a left-handed thrower, and up against the wall. Watch him reach here, just out of his reach. Ooh, and Stewart legs it out for a 3-base hit.
Yankees bring the infield in with Nova at the plate. Big cut. 0-1.
And Nova's looking for his first hit of the year. He does not have a hit.
0 for 5.
And you wonder, National League pitchers bunt an awful lot. Would they consider some sort of bunt? Oh, that's nasty.
In his career, he has 4 hits.
Ooh, that was a nasty changeup.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Nova down on strikes, 2 away.
Nova with a chance to help himself out, get a run in, could not make contact and is struck out. Yeah, final pitch of breaking ball. You'll notice when pitchers are facing other pitchers, you know, it kind of goes against the pitcher's handbook, but when you're in trouble, anything goes. He threw him a changeup and a curveball in that at bat.
Here's Jordy Mercer. And a strike. Crowd oohs and ahs, pitch up and in. Chris Stewart's at third with 2 outs. Pirates lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning at PNC Park. There's a strike. 1-2.
Good changeup. And with Mercer reaching on a walk and scoring the run in the 1st inning, he's reached safely in all 9 of the Pirates' home games now. He's done most of his damage at the plate at home.
Line foul. And the 1-2. Grounded to short. Torres gets Mercer, and that'll do it. The triple by Stewart is wasted. We go to the 3rd. 1-0 Pirates. Near and star catcher Gary Sanchez have come together to design 3 custom Yankees caps. Pick up a Pepsi and vote for your favorite one at yankees.com/Pepsi. Plus, you could win Yankees prizes just for voting. Our guy Pete Stennel is on the roof again.
I wonder if he came down from there yesterday.
Oh, he's been around. Ronald Torreyes lays down a bunt foul. Be the bottom third of the Yankee order against Nova. Yankees have gone down 1-2-3 each inning, although the final out of the second, a line drive right back to Nova off the bat of Greg Bird.
Check the average for Torreyes. Had a 4-hit game yesterday. First Yankee with a 4-hit game this year. He was the first Yankee with a home run and the first Yankee with a triple. And he raised his average to 296 from 245 yesterday.
Hit sharply to Mercer. The long throw. One away. And here is Kyle Higashioka. 0 for 8 in the big leagues. So looking for his first big league hit. That's what he did in the minors last year, 276. The eye opener, the 21 home runs. Foul back over the screen.
He had 81 runs batted in, not bad either. Had a very good offensive year. Hit a home run or two in spring training. And when Gary Sanchez went down, Kyle got the call.
One 1-2. Check the swing. Count 2-2.
As a teasing slider, see if he would chase it.
Grounded to third. Backhanded by Harrison. Gets to his feet and fires. Made a nice play to take a hit away from Higashioka.
Yeah, he did. Still looking for number one as Josh Harrison makes a nice play at third on the backhand. Lays out and robs Higashioka of a hit. We're going to look at it on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the heel of the glove. Ball was hit so hard he had plenty of time to get up and make the throw. And now there are two down here in the third inning.
And here's Montgomery. Joe said, I guess he's hit more recently than most. I mean, he's not that far away from high school. He said, you do hit there. Count 2-0 on Montgomery.
Yeah, but once you get to college, that ends because they use the DH.
Michael, he was actually hard-pressed to remember himself. He said probably 2011 in high school, considers himself not much of a hitter, said, I'm here to pitch. That's not even his bat. It's Austin Romine's.
Well, he's worked the count 3-1.
Well, this is a count that all hitters would like.
It is odd for a pitcher to say, you know, I'm here to pitch. I mean, you are hitting, and it's an important aspect of the game. The 3-2. How about that? Yankees first base runner.
And Michael, he did say, I don't want to be a guaranteed out in that batter's box. I'm hoping that I have to bunt. I don't have a ton of experience in that situation, but still my main priority for the day is pitching. So he doesn't want to give away an out. At the same time, he realizes he might be limited, but hey, first good at bat.
Well, they're not going to hold him on at first, so he'll take the lead with Freese playing behind him. And here's Gardner, who struck out in the first inning. Gardner won for his last 17. He has yet to pick up an RBI on the season. And that one is hit into left center. And a nice running play by McCutchen as Gordon hit the ball well. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on base. Yankees break up the perfect game. We go to the bottom of the third.
Marakovitz, it's time for today's injury report brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. Didi Gregorius playing in his third straight rehab game, this time as the DH. He is 1 for 2 with a run scored so far with the Tampa Yankees. And Gary Sanchez doing some tee and toss earlier today, also threw at 90 feet. Joe Girardi said he is hoping that he joins the team on the field for BP within the next couple of days. So guys, both of them making progress.
I did ask Joe Girardi the way Torres is playing. I said, I think I know the answer. Is Didi your shortstop? He said, absolutely. I said, what if Torres keeps getting three, four hits a game? He said, Didi Gregorius is our shortstop. He said, but when we start getting into stretches where we're playing 10, 13 games in a row, Torres is going to play third, he's going to play short, he's going to play second. He will get his at-bats.
That's his value to the team. You plug him in anywhere. We've even seen him in the outfield.
Here's Josh Harrison, single to left in the first inning. You know, in the second inning, Chris Stewart picked up a triple, and it's somewhat of a big deal. Kenny mentioned it was his first triple of the season. It was his first triple of his career. He had been in the top 10 of baseball players and plate appearances without having a triple, and he'd been the active leader with 1,182 plate appearances. But now the honor belongs to Bobby Wilson with 849 plate appearances without a triple.
Yeah, and Bobby Wilson, yep, he's a catcher.
Skied the other way.
See, that's why you come to ball games. You're going to see something you haven't seen for a while. You never know what's going to happen out here. I learned something when I came to Pittsburgh about Josh Harrison. He's the nephew of John Shelby, who was a teammate of mine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Grounded to third. Headley. One down.
John's Shelby's nickname was T-Bone. John T-Bone Shelby. Good defensive outfielder.
Here's Andrew McCutchen. You know, McCutchen made that error in the outfield yesterday. Took total blame afterward. He said, Polanco said he couldn't quite see it because the sun just came out. He said, I know it's my ball. I was calling for it. He didn't hear me call for it. And then when I saw him coming over, I kind of short-armed it because I trying to avoid the collision. So that's how I made the error. The Pirates have not put on a defensive clinic in this series. And second baseman has been a problem spot for both teams. Castro dropped that pop-up on Friday. That eventually allowed 2 runs to score. And McCutchen walks on 4 pitches. We'll take a look at some of the sloppy defense yesterday by Pittsburgh.
This is Jace on right field. Hasn't had much experience out there. The ball gets by him. And that is Frazier was at second base for a while. And there's McCutchen. Michael was talking about that. And Pirates a little sloppy, and that helped the Yankees on their way to a win yesterday.
All right, so that's the second walk issued by Montgomery. One to Mercer and now one to McCutchen. Here's Polanco. Struck out with the bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning. Torres shades up the middle for the lefty swinging Polanco. There's a strike. In the outfield, they play him straight away. In fact, if anything, Judge is shaded to right center, so they don't expect Polanco to pull.
And a lot of this information, how the Yankees set up defensively, comes from advanced scouting. There's scouts that are assigned to teams that the Yankees are going to play in the near future. And they're looking at the players, where they hit the ball, how the pitchers throw, managers' tendencies, all that sort of thing. And they pass that information along to Joe Girardi and his coaches.
And he hit it right where they didn't expect him to, right down the line. Judge goes and gets the carom. He'll get the ball in. Here comes McCutchen. Here's the throw. He's in there. It's an RBI double for Polanco, and it's 2-0 Pirates.
Well, that breaks that 0 for 15 for Polanco. Is of course his first hit of this series, and this pitch kind of hung up in the middle of the plate. And as cold as he's been, he was able to swing a hot bat on that one. And here comes McCutchen, who's got pretty good speed, running through Joey Cora's stop sign. That's twice we've seen that in this series. Didn't Osuna run out that triple the other? And Cora told him to stop at second.
There's David Freese. Now, bad break for the Yankees on the double by Polanco. It didn't really hit hard off the wall and didn't carry him out to Judge. Judge had to go retrieve it, and that obviously gives McCutchen a lot more steps around third. Freese with a sac fly to center in the first. 1-1. And a strike, 1-2. Freese has made some odd choices in his career. Very good high school player. Had a scholarship to Missouri to play baseball, and then decided, you know what, I don't want to play baseball anymore, and just went to college, enrolled as a student, and he wanted to party and not worry about baseball. About a year later, he came to his senses, started playing baseball again. Ground ball is short. Torres will make the play as Polanco advances over to third.
You know, one of the things that can happen to a pitcher, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that today with Montgomery, he struggled somewhat with his control. You saw that in the first inning, falling behind several hitters, which means to regain his control, he's got to force it towards the middle of the plate. I think that's why the Pirates are getting some pretty good swings. He's not around the edges like he had been in his first two starts.
And Osuna takes a strike. Polanco with the left-hander on the mound, getting a walking start off third. Line drive, and it is a foul ball. Kept hooking.
I wonder if these two have hooked up in the minor leagues. Osuna was at Indianapolis for 63 games last year. It's the Pirates AAA club in the International League.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. Osuna down on strikes. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. Let's go to the 4th inning. It's 2-0 Pirates. Is brought to you in part by Buick. Visit tristatebuick.com for great lease offers. By Heineken, open your world. And by Infinity, empower the drive. Visit your tri-state area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon. Chase Headley digs in to start the 4th inning at PNC Park. On the Sunsplash field below us. There's a strike. Yankees still looking for their first hit. Jordan Montgomery walked with 2 outs in the 3rd. Audi scoreboard, 2-0 Pirates. Yankees have hit the ball hard twice. Bird lined it back to Nova to end the 2nd, and then Gardner hit it well, and it was run down by McCutchen in left center. Line drive and right at Harrison. 1 away. And that'll bring up Sterling Castro. And we will take a look at the Volkswagen League leaders. And it's the American League hit leaders. They were tied coming into yesterday, but Souza now 1 ahead of Castro and Trout, who both have 24 hits. And 4 players there with 22. Castro also has 8 multi-hit games, struck out in the 1st inning, and Nova deals.
You know, all the names on that list, well known with the exception of the Seattle player. Mitch Haniger, the rookie, is off to a great start for the Mariners.
Grounded, foul. Count 1-1. Along with Ken Singleton and Meredith Moragovitz, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us here on Yes. We appreciate it. The 1-1. That one is looped into center field. Coming on McCutchen. He can't make the play. And there's the Yankees' first base hit.
And depending on what Steven Souza's doing down in Tampa Bay today against the Houston Astros, there's a tie for the league leading hits. Just a little flare over the head of second baseman Phil Goslin and in front of McCutchen in center. Now a 7-game hitting streak for Castro.
And he's 11 for his last 25. Here's Ellsbury, who has a 5-game hitting streak.
I've just been informed that Souza has hit a home run today down at Tampa Bay.
So he remains one ahead.
Yeah, he does.
Two and 0. Ellsbury with a fly ball to left. That was in the second. That one is looped into center field. That's going to fall in front of McCutchen for a base hit. So the Yankees probably said, you know, hitting it hard is not doing anything for us, so let's bloop it in there.
Well, the thing about McCutchen, one reason he was moved out of center field because they felt his defense had been subpar last year.
You can also see that Ellsbury said that he hit the glove of Stewart, and once it fell in, he can take the base hit over the catcher's interference.
Ellsbury, what did he have, 12 of those last year, catcher's interference? So I think now McCutchen is playing deeper in center field, and when that happens, more balls are going to fall in front of you.
Here's Aaron Judge. He struck out in the second inning. Nova deals. Hit sharply to short. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. So Nova got what he needed, a ground ball. They turned it into a 6-4-3 double play. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Pirates lead 2-0. April 30th for one of the hottest collectibles of the season. It's Gary Sanchez Bobblehead Day, the first in the 2017 collectible series presented by AT&T. For the first 18,000 guests in attendance, For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Phil Gosselin leads off, takes a ball. Gosselin with Arizona last year. And you see this little back and forth between Castro and Nova. Playful swipe. That's a base hit for Gosselin. Gosselin led all major leaguers last year with 20 pinch hits. He picks up a leadoff single here in the fourth.
Yeah, picked up for bench strength. That's only his second hit of this year. His other one had been a pinch hit.
Audi scoreboard, 2-0 Pittsburgh. So here's Chris Stewart, first triple of his career. That was in the second inning. The single by Gosselin, the fifth allowed by Montgomery, fifth hit. And there's a strike. Swing and a miss.
That's a changeup that has some fade to it, moves down and away from a right-handed hitter.
Montgomery, one of just 3 pitchers in the big leagues in the early going this year to throw 5 pitches at least 15% of the time. So he doesn't just settle on one and stay with that. He mixes and matches. The 0-2. Rounded to third. Let's see if they could turn 2. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. 5-4-3.
Around the horn, started by Headley on the backhand. He gave the accurate throw to Castro, who turned it over. What do they say? Pitcher's best friend? And now he's got what I like to call a free out coming to the plate with the pitcher coming up. Nice play by Headley. He's played some solid third base. Nice footwork by Castro at second to turn it over to first. To Greg Bird for the double play.
Nova swings and misses. He struck out in the second inning. 3 strikeouts for Montgomery today. Oh and 2. Bottom of the fourth, it's 2-0 Pirates. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Nova down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors. And because of the double play, nobody left on base. We move to the fifth. It's 2-0 Pittsburgh. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced, pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com. Somebody on Twitter told me the other day, Kenny, that when they play RBI Baseball 2017, they play as the Pirates just so they can see this ballpark.
It's beautiful. And while you're here, you go to Manny's Barbecue. That's Manny Sanguian, who was a teammate of mine at Winter Ball. Very good hitter and a good defensive catcher for the Pirates.
Greg Bird takes a strike as we start the 5th inning. Yankees down 2-0 on the GMC scoreboard. The 0-1. Bird lined one up the middle, and Nova caught it in the second. That's good. The 2-1 to Bird. 3-1 on deck to Reyes. Three and two. Bird one for his last 17. Yankees have 2 hits in this game. Both came in the 4th inning. Castro a single and Ellsbury a single. And the 3-2. Driven out to left center. McCutchen on the run. So is Polanco. Polanco's there and makes the play for the first out. We go back to the studios of the Yes Network, and Bob Lorenz is there. Thank you, Bob. The Yankees will start a series against the Red Sox at Fenway on Tuesday. That's the hands of Ralph Kiner. How about that? Torreyes, breaking ball inside.
I think Ralph Kiner, of course, a Hall of Famer, a longtime broadcaster for the Mets. If I'm not mistaken, he either led or tied for the league leading home runs 7 years in a row.
That's a pretty cool statue.
It certainly is. I mean, all the plenty of statues around here. Great players over the years. Look out. Up and into Torres. Torres with 13 runs batted in. You see it right there. He, Castro, and Judge all have 13. Yankees, the only team, have 3 players with as many as 13 RBIs.
There's a base hit for Torres.
Man, he's on fire.
Well, we broke this down yesterday, Kenny. So you mentioned the 13 and 16 games. This is his 17th game. Last year he had 12 in 72 games. So here is Kyle Higashioka. Hit a hard ground ball down the third base line, snared by Harrison. And Higashioka's bid for his first big league hit. 0 for 9. Polanco very shallow and left. And that one is driven down the left field line. Foul.
Higashioka has a couple of at-bats to play with. That was 0 for my first 11. I felt sure that I was going back to the minor leagues.
Well, Willie Mays started with a long offer.
Yeah, he did.
And has Leo DeRocha to send him back down. He wasn't ready.
Until he hit that home run off Orange Spawn over the roof at the Polo Grounds.
The 0-1. There's a strike.
What did Leo DeRosa tell him? You're not going anywhere. Except to the Hall of Fame. He didn't say that, but he did go to the Hall of Fame.
I think that Willie Mays used to call him Mr. Leo back then. He said, Mr. Leo, send me, I don't belong here, send me back down. The 0-2. Did he go? No, he did not. Who was your manager, 0 for 11?
Gil Hodges. As we check the, yep, it was a check swing by Higashioka. Fortunately, I never went back to the minors.
Torreyes leads off first, held by Freeze. One, two. Still 1-2. Take a look at the fast pitch speed analytics. It's brought to you by Fios. And it was 94 miles an hour, Ivan Nova's fastball.
And usually has a little sink to it.
Strike three, Higashioka down looking.
Strikeout number 5 for Ivan Nova as he clips the outside corner. This one just caught a hint of the corner for a call strike.
Told you the Tigers traded for Nova last year on August 1st. And then they agreed to a 3-year, $26 million contract. And if he pitches like this, I mean, what a bargain that contract's going to be. Montgomery walked in the 3rd inning. Torreyes leads off first, 2 men out. We're in the 5th, 2-0 Pirates. One and one. One and two. Strike three, Montgomery down looking. And that'll do it for the top of the 5th. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We're halfway through. Pirates up by 2. Watch an all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show and go inside the mind of the manager as the Yankee skipper invites you into his clubhouse office and answers your questions. That's today after the postgame only on Yes. Look at the Clemente Bridge. A lot of Yankee fans here in this game, and they're here to see their Yankees win this series. Good conversation, deep conversation there between Harkey and Betances. Well, we talked with a lot of fans yesterday, Kenny, walking across that bridge after the game. Seemed like it was overrun by Yankee fans.
Yeah, we took a lot of pictures too, and one thing I found that a lot of people from Western New York had driven down here, see the Yankees here in Pittsburgh. Met a lot of people from Syracuse and Rochester area.
Mercer takes outside. Mercer walked and scored on a sac fly by Freese in the first inning, and then grounded to short in the second. Waved at that one. Third round pick for the Pirates in 2008 out of Oklahoma State. Grew up in a small town in Oklahoma, Tologa, population 300. Foul back.
It sounds like one of those places where everybody knows everybody.
Like Mayberry.
Yeah.
Fly ball right field. Judge puts it away. That's going to bring up Josh Harrison. Josh, originally a 6th round pick by the Cubs in 2008 out of the University of Cincinnati, and one of the big thrills of his life was making the All-Star game in 2014 when it was in Cincinnati.
Must have had another thrill this year playing for the U.S. team, the WBC, the winning U.S. team. Kind of a funny story. I had mentioned that he is the nephew of John T-Bone Shelby. Years ago, I was driving home. I think my son Justin was about 3 years old, and Matt was. They're both in the car, and Shelby pulled alongside of us on the highway and waved. So I said, "Look, guys, there's John Shelby." And Justin, at 3 years old, he said, "No, Dad, that's T-Bone."
Harrison's nickname is Bone and Ribeye. People don't know that.
Did we see one of those last night?
Yeah, we saw a couple. Here's the 2-1. That one's lined to left. It's a base hit. Cutting over is Gardner. And he holds Harrison to a single.
Harrison now has 4 hits in this series.
So McCutchen looks down at Cora, get the sign, and there he tips his cap as he always does, and that's a signal to his wife. Castro shades up the middle. Most of the right side of the infield is open for McCutchen. There's a strike.
He had to be retired today, a single and a walk.
One and one on McCutchen.
Well, yesterday's game was more like 2 ball games in one. The first half belonged to the Pirates. The second half belonged to the Yankees. And we might be somewhat in that mode again today as the Pirates have taken an early lead. The Yankees used those 2 big 5-run innings in the 6th and the 8th to rally and win.
Two-one count. Harrison leads off first. Good lead. And the count 3-1.
Yeah, we mentioned the fact that Montgomery has a variety of pitches that he can use, but you get into 3-1 counts, you become a little bit more predictable, and hitters can really zone in, look for a pitch that they want.
Rounded to third. There's one on to first. It's a double play. They doubled up McCutchen around the horn, 5-4-3. So he fell behind 3-1 in the count, but still got the number 3 hitter to hit into a twin killing. We've played 5. It is 2-0 Pirates. Matchup with Mookie Betts and the rival Red Sox. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Audi batting practice today and the Chevy Yankees pregame. Then Al Leiter and John Flaherty join me at Fenway for the call. Right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Yankees down 2-0 as we go to the 6th. And Brett Gardner will lead off. Top of the Yankee order against former teammate Ivan Nova. Gardner's 0 for 2. And there's a strike. Gardner 1 hit in his last 18 at bats. Fly ball, left field, backing up Polanco, and he makes the play for the first out.
Another ball that Gardner hit fairly well, but found some leather. Sometimes you feel when you're struggling that there's about 50 fielders out there with gloves on both hands. Just can't drop anything in there.
Here's Chase Headley. He's 0 for 2. And a strike.
Nova's got a season high 6 strikeouts so far in the game.
Grounded up the middle. Nice play by Goslin. Takes a base hit away from Headley.
I'm looking at my scorecard, and by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls the Yankees have hit hard that there are not hits in this game. The Pirate defense has been a little more solid today than it has been in the first 2 games of this series.
Here's Castro, picked up the first hit of the game for the Yankees with 1 out in the 4th. Dunked a single to center. Strike. And the pitch.
Purpose pitch, kind of moving Castro off the plate. Let's see if it's followed by a breaking ball down and away. Well, looks like the fastball again. They're coming inside. Missed the target.
2-2. Pirates have the Cubs coming into town tomorrow night for a 3-game set. And then they'll head on the road, play the Marlins over the weekend. Yankees go to Boston, then back home to Yankee Stadium. 3 games against the first place Baltimore Orioles, who are losing to the Red Sox 5-0 today in the 5th. Swing and a miss, and Castro down on strikes. Yankees go down in order, 1, 2, 3, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Pirates. Craftsman of Commerce.
Well, so far today, it's been the pitching of former Yankee Ivan Nova. 7 strikeouts in the game. He's allowed just 3 hits thus far, as the Yankees have been held off the scoreboard thus far in the ball game. So Nova with a variety of pitches, good fastball, good slider, 3 hits in 6 innings, a walk, and 7 Ks.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jordan Montgomery certainly has not had his best stuff, but he has certainly kept the Yankees very much within striking distance. They're just down 2-0. And it'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the Pirate order against the Yankees rookie lefty. First up, Polanco. 1-0. 90 pitches for Montgomery. You know what? I misread it. I'm sorry. It's 82 pitches now for Montgomery.
When you said 90, I looked out to see if the bullpen was getting ready.
I guess that I looked quickly, and that was the miles per hour at the time, so I apologize. The 1-1. 1-2. Never want to give a guy extra pitches. Not in this day and age.
Well, they'll take the extra miles per hour, though.
Yeah. And the pitch. 2-2. Polanco liked interleague play last year, hit .347. The Pirates have not liked it this year, though. They got swept by the Red Sox in Boston. Split the first 2 games against the Yankees, so 1-4 in interleague so far.
Kind of an emergency swing just to foul that one off.
This series is a little different for the Pirates than any other one. Every other series they had, 5 series leading up to this one, had been a sweep one way or the other. So first 2 games of this one split. 2-2. Slow roller. Going to be a tough play. Montgomery shovels with the glove, but Polanco beats it out.
Polanco showing off his speed for a big man. He's been bothered by a groin injury. But he's going to get down the line here. He smells a base hit. Montgomery's going to shovel it over to Bird, but not in time as Polanco makes the call himself as he beats the play. This is the only way Montgomery could have done it. And you can see the foot's on the bag before the ball's in the glove.
Leadoff runner on with that infield single. Here's David Freese. Sac fly, and the ground ball is short.
Montgomery's had double plays the last couple of innings that helped bail him out.
Swing and a miss. Good change.
An excellent changeup. Changeup designed to throw off the rhythm of the hitter. And you get some funny hacks on good changeups.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Doubled up on it. Michael, you're absolutely right when you said that when he delivers the ball, everything looks the same coming out of his hand. That's the key to a good changeup. You can't slow down your arm. That's a dead giveaway for a hitter.
Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Higashioka, and Freese down on strikes.
They have 3 straight changeups to pick up his 5th strikeout.
What do they say, Kenny, when you're going to throw 3 straight changeups? Each one has to be better than the next.
Well, this was a slow curve, so which was the effect was there. As I look at it again, that one had a break to it. But still, 3 off-speed pitches, and all 3 of them were good ones.
Here's Osuna. Lined right at Headley. Fires to first for the double play. That's bad base running by Polanco. The ball's in front of him, and he strayed way too far off the bag, and Headley, with the strong throw, got him in the 5-3 double play. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 6. It's 2-0 Pirates. Pirates lead 2-0. They have 7 hits. Yankees 3. Montgomery, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Nova, 6 innings, 3 hits, has not a lot of runs, just 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. The 1 walk, his first walk of the year. David Freese, the sac fly in the second. Polanco, an RBI double in the third. And that is the scoring. Jacoby Ellsbury leads off against Nova. And the pitch is high as we start the 7th inning. Cadillac scoreboard, 2-0 Pirates. It'll be Ellsbury, Judge, and Bird. High fly ball, right field, giving chase Osuna. Looking up, see ya! Home run Ellsbury. Yankees are on the board. Pirates lead 2-1.
Ellsbury's been as hot as any Yankee. That's his 2nd home run of the year, only the 2nd that Nova's given up this year. And for Ellsbury, that's the 99th home run of his career. Hanging curveball, and he got all of it. The sound was there, the distance is there.
Here's Judge. Outside, 1-0. So the Yankees cut the lead in half as Ellsbury continues to rake. 8 for his last 17. There's a strike. 1-1.
Michael, fans aren't only talking about Aaron Judge's presence at the plate. Former major leaguers are as well. Dave Winfield tweeted out, "I can't help but retweet this shot by Aaron Judge from yesterday." Now, it's interesting. Judge actually grew up watching Winfield. His dad, Wayne, was a big fan of the way he played. And Aaron and Dave actually met each other one of the first spring trainings with the Yankees. And he gave him some advice at the plate. He simply said, you got to keep things simple when you're up there.
Drill to center field. Going back, McCutchen on the track. And he'll make the play for the first out.
And Michael, Aaron Judge was asked about the retweet from Winfield, and his eyes lit up and he smiled and he said, "That is cool. I never thought in a million years that Dave Winfield would be retweeting one of my swings." Pretty cool moment.
Almost got that one. He drove McCutchen back to the track, but not enough. Here's Greg Bird as the Yankees have hit Nova hard. First 2 batters in the 7th. Bird trying to tie it up, count 0-1.
I don't think Judge got that one on the good part of the bat. The Yankee bullpen is busy. That's Brian Mitchell.
One and one.
But it kind of shows you how strong he is, Michael. How far he drove that ball with center field onto the warning track.
Tipped into the glove of Stewart. 2-2.
Maybe a little concern for the Pirates getting later stages of this game, and Nova just gave up a homer.
Ground ball, right side, and they get Bird. And that was Goslin who made the play, so it's 4-3. Here's Torreyes. He's 1 for 2. Softy grounded to short, and they just get Torreyes for the final out. So Ellsbury moves the Yankees to within 1. A long home run to right field. Ellsbury's second home run of the year. 1 run, 1 hit, and nobody left on base at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here in Pittsburgh, and we will stay right here as they honor America at PNC Park.
Here to lead us with God Bless America are members of the Pittsburgh Opera's production of The Summer King.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains through the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless
See the Cadillac scoreboard there, 2-1 Pittsburgh over the Yankees. Pittsburgh with 7 hits, the Yankees with 4. New first baseman is Chris Carter, so he's going to bat in the number 9 hole. And the new pitcher is going to be Brian Mitchell, so he'll bat in the number 6 hole, vacated by Greg Bird. And we have a new pitcher as well, a pinch hitter, should I say. There's Brian Mitchell's number, and the pinch hitter is going to be John Jaso. So he will pinch hit for Gosselin. So Montgomery gives the Yankees 6, gives up 2 runs. Wouldn't say at his best stuff, but certainly kept it manageable. And the Yankees down by 1 in the bottom of the 7th.
Clint Hurdle has used Jaso as a pinch hitter 3 times this year. He's 0 for 3 in this role.
And the 3-0 to Jaso. And they turned him loose. He popped it up. Left side, but out of play. Over the Pirate dugout.
That kind of surprises me that they turned him loose. 3-0, leading off an inning. And a pitcher just came in the game, might not be used to the mound.
A little odd.
Yeah.
(3-1), and he walked him. So a pinch hit walk by Jaso. That'll bring up Stewart. Let's see if they bunt. And Josh Bell is on deck to pinch hit for Nova. Bunted foul.
Well, Josh Bell coming up next. Even if Stewart gets Jaso over the second, sacrifices, that gives Joe Girardi the option of whether he wants to pitch around Bell and walk him and go to a right-handed hitter with Mercer up next against Mitchell. See how it plays out here. But first of all, Stewart has to get the bunt down to get Jaso to second.
The 0-1. 1-1.
The Pirates have had 5 sacrifice bunts this year, all by pitchers. None of their position players have had a successful sacrifice. I don't know if they had any attempts, but this has been a definite attempt so far in this at bat.
Runner goes, and a hit and run was on, lines it to left field. Jaso's going to third, and the throw comes into second. So Hurdle took the bunt off, and Stewart gets a line single to left, and the Pirates have runners on the corners, nobody out.
Pushing the right buttons there. Maybe didn't like the way that Stewart was attempting to sacrifice and said, well, let's send a runner and see what happens. And Jaso turns at second, heads for third. First and third, nobody out for the Pirates here in the seventh.
So here's Josh Bell pinch hitting for Nova. Left-handed batter, wide open stance. Yankees will take the double play and give up the run. Mitchell doesn't seem like he has great command, and Higashioka will go out and talk with him.
Mitchell did pitch here yesterday, and that's a solid inning. Strikeout, no runs, no hits.
Now the Yankees bring the infield in, and there's a strike from a breaking ball on 2-0.
Good one where he gets the call. Certainly had the plate called high enough.
Now 3-1. That's Jordy Mercer on deck. He walked him, and that loads the bases. Mitchell all over the place. 2 walks and the single. And Larry Rothschild will go out and try to settle down his young right-hander.
Well, the Yankees saw this situation in the first inning with Montgomery. Bases loaded, nobody out. The Pirates scored just 1. But now we're getting to the latter stages of the game, and the Yankees are running out of time.
Everybody at the mound except for Chris Carter. Chad Whitson goes out to break it up. Well, now the Yankees bring the infield all the way in. Jordy Mercer at the plate, walked and scored, grounded to short, and a fly ball to right. Bases loaded, nobody out. Mitchell deals. Breaking ball strike. Well, you see the breaking ball thrown so many times after a trip to the mound. It slows everything down, gets your mechanics together, and that's what Mitchell threw. The 0-1. 1-1. And the righty deals. 1-2. Well, the bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning. The 4th batter, Polanco, struck out, and that gave Montgomery some breathing room. Then a sac fly by Freese, and Osuna popped up to second.
Well, Mitchell certainly has strikeout stuff, and this is he's got himself in a situation where he could certainly use one here.
And the pitch. Fly ball left field. Jaso's tagging. Gardner makes the catch. Here's the throw, and Jaso just bluffs. Cut off there by Headley. So Mercer didn't hit it far enough. And Gardner has a pretty good arm for a left fielder, and Jaso didn't test him.
That breaking ball kind of hung, and you know what Mercer's thinking, get out there. But Gardner coming in and in on this high fly ball, able to get the throw in, cut off by Headley. Joey Cora holds Jaso at third. Now the Yankees can move the infield back. Now they're looking for the double play.
In at the corners, back at short and second. Josh Harrison at the plate. He's 2 for 3. Those at bats against Montgomery. Off the end of the bat, foul, 0-1.
The way Headley is positioned at third base, he has a choice. Depending on if the ball's hit to him, depending how hard it's hit, if he feels it's not hit hard enough to turn a double play, he'll come home. But if he feels like it's a sharp one hopper, he'll get it over the Castro and then go for the double play that way.
The 0-1. 1-1. The 1-1 could not hold up. 1-2.
Sometimes hitters get very aggressive when they see runners on base, and Harrison doesn't help himself out there by swinging at a pitch that was out of the strike zone.
And the 1-2. Foul back.
This is the best pitch that Harrison had in the whole at bat, and he fouled it off. Best pitch to hit.
The 1-2. Line drive right at Torreyes, 2-way. So almost out of it, but a big almost, because up comes Andrew McCutchen.
Yep, another tough hitter. Harrison's hit the ball well all day, so to get him out, a line drive at Torreyes, that's a bonus.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. And the fastball is high to McCutchen. McCutchen singled in the first, walked and scored in the third, and wrapped into a 5-4-3 double play in the fifth. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Pirates lead the Yankees 2-1. Pirates have 8 hits, the Yankees 4. The Yankees finally got on the board in the top of the 7th, a home run by Ellsbury. (1-0). Bounced up there, and a good block by Higashioka.
Higashioka tested on this one and takes it off the chest protector. Well done. Those are those spring training drills coming to the forefront.
There's a strike. Just clipped the outside corner. Count 2-1. Strike two.
The way McCutcheon took that last pitch, it almost told me he was looking for a slider and got a fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Mitchell comes back strong. He loads the bases with nobody out and gets out of it without allowing a run. The Pirates strand 3. We go to the 8th. 2-1 Pittsburgh. New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here.
Well, amazingly, Mitchell gets out of a jam, bases loaded, nobody out. Striking out McCutcheon on the fastball. Looked like he stumbled a bit, but got the job done.
All right, so the Yankees now have 2 innings to try to make up this 1-run deficit. John Jaso takes over at first. Harrison is at second. Freeze moves to third. And Daniel Hudson is the new pitcher. And we'll have a pinch hitter against Hudson, who will pitch his 10th game. Yankees send up Aaron Hicks to pinch hit for Higashioka. Hyundai scoreboard 2-1. Pittsburgh leads the Yankees. So Hicks, a switch hitter, bats from the left side against Hudson. One and one.
Last 2 pinch hitting at bats for Hicks. He's had a couple of hits, a home run and a single.
That's what the Yankees have left. Romine will take over behind the plate. You still have Holiday and Cosma. One. That one's popped up. Long run for Freeze, and he gets there to make the play. That's going to bring up Chris Carter.
You can see Freeze coming on and making a nice running catch.
Carter bats in the number 9 hole because of the double switch when the Yankees brought in Mitchell. So Mitchell is batting 6th. Carter hit the big pinch hit home run yesterday, a 3-run blast. First home run as a Yankee. 1-0. One and one.
Let's take a look back at yesterday. There were 2 men on when Carter came up as a pinch hitter, jumped on the first pitch, and this one's well out into the bullpen. McCutchen gives up on it. 425 feet later, the Yankees had 3 more runs.
Lined and past the diving Mercer and into left field. A base hit for Carter. So the tying run's on base.
Mercer with the headlong dive. Gets a close-up look at the turf here at the PNC Park.
Well, if you believe in due, Brett Gardner is due. He's 0 for 3 today. He's 1 for his last 19. Got off to a nice start at the start of the season, but has really struggled since. One and 0. No one's had much complaint with the home plate umpire today. Chad Whitson been pretty fair behind there. Calling a strike, a ball, a ball.
You mean you haven't seen many hitters turn around?
No.
Don't you?
Have you noticed?
No, I haven't. That's a good sign.
Two and 0. So Gardner has himself in a hitter's count. And the pitch. 3-0, and on deck is Headley. And the pitch. A strike. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. And there's ball 4. So now that moves Carter to second. The tying run is in scoring position. Well, Pete Kozma is going to pinch run for Chris Carter.
So Joe Girardi opting for the faster player. He represents the tying run out at second base.
They'll have to get a little creative with their infield defense, but they'll worry about that in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Headley, 0 for 3, 6-game hitting streak on the line. Big spot in this game. Yankees down 2-1. That one is looped into center field, and that is going to be caught by Mercer. Mercer got a good jump and ran it down.
And Headley got a broken bat out of the deal. Got in on the hands. You can see Kozma taking no chances, back to second.
So here is Castro, and a big spot. Came into the game a .311 hitter in 96 games against Pittsburgh, and he has 12 career home runs against the Pirates. Hitting .362, and wants to take the lead in RBIs for the Yankees. He's at 13, tied with Torres and Judge. And a strike from Hudson. Castro's 1 for 3. Cosma pinch running for Carter. He is at second. Gardner's at first. Good speed on the bases for the Yankees. One and one. On deck, the red-hot Jacoby Ellsbury.
Well, with Gardner at first, if Joe Girardi wanted to have a go-ahead run at first base on an extra base, Gardner would be one of the guys he would pick. Extra base hit, he'll probably score with 2 outs. Off with the crack of the bat.
Runners lead. And the 1-1. Popped up. Right side. Let's see if it stays in play. Nope. About 8 rows back. One and two, 2 outs, 2 on. Fouled away. The announced attendance 27,840. And you saw Betances up in the Yankee bullpen. Daniel Hudson sets. And the 1-2. Popped up again and again out of play. Good at bat so far for Castro, hanging in there.
Well, he's been one of the hottest hitters in the league in the early going here.
And the pitch. Bounced. Cosma's going to go to third, and the ball gets away, and Cosma will make it. Oh, was that a gamble? You make the last out at third in the inning, you can just keep running.
Wow. I think an accurate throw, they might have had him. The throw was offline. Freese racing for the bag, has to reach back as the ball is headed towards the second base side of the infield. Not an accurate throw from Stewart. The ball gets off of Freese's glove, and Cosma's in there safely. I think the ball actually beat him to third. He's not in the picture yet as we look at this on Yesmo.
Well, now a base hit would most assuredly tie it. Just 90 feet away. Gardner's at first, Cosma at third. And the 2-2 to Castro. Popped up again. Jaso near the seats. Runs out of room.
Gardner was on the move. And I suspect the Pirates would just let him go to second and get himself into scoring position. Now Chris Stewart signaling to the rest of the infielders what his intentions might be if Gardner takes off. You see the infielders are back at short and second. Long way for them to go to cover the bag at second base. So I have a feeling that they're just going to let Gardner go if he attempts to steal.
There he goes. Another foul ball.
And Neither one of the infielders moved to cover second base. They're more worried about Cosma at third. You know, an errant throw to second, Cosma could score.
Hudson and Castro battling. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. And Hudson wins the battle with a pitch up in the zone. And Castro angrily slams his bat down around home plate. He chased ball 3, and he knew it. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Highlights and analysis of today's game, plus Meredith Moragovitz gets reaction from here in Pittsburgh. That's all coming up immediately following the game, only on Yes. We've got some changes defensively for the Yankees. And Hicks is in left. That's an extra change there. Polanco grounds one sharply to second. Right there is Castro over to Headley. One down. So here's the new defense. Hicks, Ellsbury, and Judge in the outfield, left to right. In the infield, Torreyes moves from short to third. Cosma takes over at short. From third to first is Headley. Castro remains at second, and Romine is the new catcher. Now that would mean the Yankees have just one player left on the bench, and that's Matt Holliday. Hyundai scoreboard, 2-1. Pirates lead the Yanks. 0-1 is outside to Freeze, 1-1. One and two. Now, if you want to look ahead to the ninth inning, it'll be Ellsbury, Judge, and then the pitchers due up. So then you would see Holliday at that spot. Anybody gets on, then Torreyes, Hicks, and Cosma. And there's the Yankee bench. As we mentioned, Holliday remains. Did he go around? Yes, he went around, so Freeze down on strikes.
Looked like he was trying to defend himself and get out of the way. And the bat happened to come around as well. Yep, he went around as he tried to scramble to get out of the way of a up and in fastball.
Pitch to Osuna. He holds up. 1-0. Osuna is 0 for 3 today. Pirates have 8 hits. The Yankees have 5. Pirates have left 7 runners on base. The Yankees have left 5. 2 in the 8th. High drive. Center field. Drifting over is Ellsbury on the track. He makes the play. And Mitchell works a 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. So the Yankees have one chance coming up in the 9th. It'll start with Ellsbury. Then after Ellsbury, it'll be Judge. And then after that, probably Holiday pinch hitting for Mitchell. Is brought to you in part by Buick. Visit tristatebuick.com for great lease offers. By People's United Bank NA. See what know-how can do for you. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2017 models. All right, we will go to the 9th inning, and Clint Hurdle, the Pirates manager, will go to his closer, Tony Watson. He closed Friday's game. Yankees trail this one 2-1. And Ellsbury will start it off. 5 for 5. Save opportunities, all converted. 1.29. Too many walks. 4 walks in 7 innings and 4 strikeouts. First batter he faced will be Ellsbury, who's 2 for 3. And he shows bunt, takes inside, 1-0. Ellsbury with a fly ball to left, a single to center, and a home run to right. The Yankees' only run in this game. That was leading off the 7th inning. Second home run of the year.
6 hits in the series for Ellsbury.
2-0 from Watson. And a strike. 2-1. Watson took over as the closer when the Pirates traded Mark Melanson last year. Pirates have 7 pitchers in the bullpen, 4 lefties and 3 righties. The 2-1. 3-1 on Ellsbury. Watson works from the stretch and deals the 3-1. And there's a strike. Ellsbury thought it was ball 4. But it's 3-2.
Borderline, a high strike call.
And the pitch. Hit sharply and caught by Jaso. One away.
There's a shot, and Jaso will make the play. You know, in a way, I'm kind of surprised he wasn't closer to the line. You know, guarding against the extra base hit. You can see the reaction from the Yankee bench. Ellsbury hits another ball hard.
Well, that brings up Judge. Coming out on deck is Holiday. Judge 0 for 3 in this game. Last time up, hit the ball to the warning track in center field. That was in the 7th. – 0-2 on Judge. Polanco almost on the warning track in left field. One and two. And he punches that one to right field, a base hit for Aaron Judge. So the Yankees have the tying run on.
You know, Michael, I think that's the difference between Judge this year and Judge of last year that we saw. Last year, I don't think he would have hit too many balls to right field like that with 2 strikes and cut down his swing. And, you know, we talked about he struck out 44% of the time. Look at him, he just goes with the pitch out over the plate. You know, he's more of a defensive hitter now with 2 strikes. And he strokes it right over second. He's so strong, he hit the ball hard enough. Solid line drive. And it gives Holiday a chance as the winning run at the plate.
Holiday pinch hitting for Mitchell. Takes a first pitch strike. Holiday just 2 for his last 24. Got off to a good start, but has slumped of late. Popped up and out of play. And quickly, it's 0-2. Obviously, he's seen Watson a lot from his time with the Cardinals. 3 for 15. 1 of the 3 a home run, but he has struck out 8 times against Watson. Just got a piece. Fouled it back. We're in the 9th inning. It's 2-1 Pirates. Rubber game of this 3-game set. And the 0-2. Ball 1. Pirates a double play depth. Torres is on deck. The pitch. 2-2. Crowd wanted that, but it was inside.
Trying to pick off the inside corner. Watson just missed.
The 2-2. 3-2. Well, what do you do here, Kenny? Do you send Judge?
I don't think so. I mean, he's not really the stolen base type. You don't want to have it end on a strikeout, throw him out, double play.
All right. He leads off first. And the 3-2. He walked him. That moves his Judge to second. And now the tying run is in scoring position for Torres. A pinch hit walk for a holiday.
Well, one of the problems here is Joe Girardi doesn't have anybody to run for Holiday.
Well, his bench is empty other than pitchers.
Well, you know, you could put a pitcher in there, but you're putting somebody in a position where they're not used to doing it. Yeah.
Here's Torreyes. 4 hits yesterday, 1 hit today. Slice foul. Now they shorten up in the outfield, trying to get a play at home on Judge in case Torreyes picks up a single.
Now the danger here, though, if Torreyes finds a gap with a line drive, and usually they play shallow when he's hitting anyway, and when he does find a gap with a line drive, it usually means a triple because they have to run it down all the way to the wall.
And it would also give the Yankees the lead.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Judge at second, Holiday at first. Torreyes at the plate. Fouls that one back. Aaron Hicks is on deck. First and second, 1 man out, 9th inning, 2-1 Pirates. Yankees trying to come back. The 0-2. Judge getting a big lead at second. Chris Stewart must shudder even thinking about any kind of collision.
There's the foul ball off the foot of Torreyes. Still in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
They almost had him picked off. If there had been a fielder at second, Watson had a hold up because no one was there. We told you that Judge had a big lead, so that was called from Stewart.
There's the inside move.
The 0-2. Grounded to second. Let's see if they turn 2. Booted by Harrison. Everybody's safe. Second base has been a death trap for the Pirates. Now the bases are loaded with 1 out for Hicks.
Wow. Harrison's second big error of this series. This might have been an inning-ending double play because he was close to second to begin with. There's the bobble. All hands are safe. And the Pirates, as we had pointed out earlier, their fielding has not been sufficient in this series.
So here is Aaron Hicks batting from the right side against the lefty Watson. Bases loaded, 1 out. 9th inning, Yankees down by 1. Foul back. Hicks pinch hit in the 8th inning and fouled out to Freeze at third. And that was batting from the left side. On deck for the Yankees, Pete Kozma. Judge at third. Holiday at second. Torreyes is at first. Oh and 2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. And the Yankees are down to their final out, and it is light-hitting Pete Kozma. And they have no one on the bench to pinch hit. So it's up to Kozma.
And it looked like Hicks chased the ball out of the zone.
Harrison breathing a little bit easier, but still 1 out to go. There are no moves to make for Girardi. Every button has been pushed. Kozma against Watson. One and 0. Romine's on deck. He has faced Watson twice, Kozma, and struck out both times. Outfield shallow. And the 1-0. 2-0. And the pitch. Grounded in the hole. Grabbed by Freese. Flips to second. And that will do it as the Pirates hold on and beat the Yankees 2-1. So for the Yankees in the ninth, no runs a hit. One error and the bases left loaded. So Watson saves both games that the Pirates win in this series as the Yankees drop this series 2-1, losing on Friday and 2-1 today. So Harrison can finally smile after the error. We'll be back. We've got an award to give out, and then obviously the post game after that. 2-1 Pirates.